Uh, I just want to know, like, if you have any WhatsApp group, who is the admin? Will you please share your mobile number? So we can discuss about our further classes. Ranjit, why you raised your hand? Okay, you are the admin. Okay. Yeah. So last week we were discussing about illusions. Is everyone clear with what I'm talking?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So offline, how many of you used to attend offline? The last class, because I think we done with motivation chapter also. Is it? We stopped illusions in between and we continued motivation.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
We done with motivation chapter, no?
Yes, ma'am, you have done.
Okay, okay. So yes, it's about illusions. I'm not going to take much time for this concept. I'll finish it off quickly. So last week we were actually discussing about this illusions and hallucinations. Illusions is a misinterpretation of the stimulus. See, here the characteristics of illusions, if you see, stimulus presence is must. Yes, how it is presented in front of us, based on that we experience illusions. So we interpreted a stimulus, whatever the stimulus it could be, like maybe a person or some object, or we heard something. Yes, so we interpreted that stimulus in a wrong manner. Yes, we heard something and we interpreted something else, or we have seen something and interpreted something else. So somebody has given an example like during night times when we see, for example, if you see a rope and we interpret it as a snake. So here depends on the nature of object, or depends on how the object is present, a stimulus is presented in front of us. Based on that, illusions may takes place. It's very common. No need to worry about illusions. So here, before we talk about illusion, not only it's about illusion. See, in illusion, we have two types. One is static, very much standard or static. Another one is movement. So while we are perceiving an object, we do perceive while it is constant in a nature, like where it is very much stable in its position. For example, railway tracks or road or something, it is very much static and we have seen it. Yes. So we are discussing this concept in depth perception, as well as we are discussing in illusion. Yes. So in depth perception, the same railway track giving an idea, a clue that how much distance it is. And that same way, it is giving an illusion that there is a merge. Yes. So this perception is depends on the stimulus of constant as well as moving. So when a stimulus is moving, we do perceive. For example, if you take in attention, the stimulus which is moving, that drags our attention more compared to the stimulus which is very constant. Yes. So if a stimulus is in a movement, in a continuous movement process, we do interpret, we do analyze, we do perceive it. Yes, how it is, like based on its speed of movement or intensity of movement. So we try to perceive the object. Okay, so here we can consider it as a perception of movement, how we are perceiving when object is moving, and we can interpret it as an illusion also. That may leads to an illusion. Movement of stimulus can lead to an illusion also. So there are different types of movement of stimulus. So just when we are observing certain things which are moving, there are two things can take place. One is a real motion. Actually, the object is actually moving in the environment. Another one is apparent motion. Object is not moving, but still we perceive it as it moving. Do you ever experienced apparent motion? Last week only we discussed about this apparent motion. Like when you are traveling, all the trees and other objects or hills are, we perceive it as they are moving along with us. Yes or no? They are constant, very static, but still we perceive it or we see it as they are also moving along with us. Yes, if we are sitting in one train, the train beside us is, if it is moving, for a second, we perceive it as we are moving. It happens sometimes. Yes. Please answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So that is known as apparent motion. There is no actual motion in the present or in the environment, but still we perceive it as the object is moving. That is known as apparent motion. So how we are perceiving. Yes, sometimes it leads to illusions. So real motion actually takes place how we are actually observing the things which are moving. Yes. See, we can perceive it, what is the actual movement and what is the apparent movement. Yes, so our muscular system, muscular movements in our eyes give a clue that what exactly an real movement. Yes, we can perceive the very minute objects which are moving. For example, projecting a very small dot of light. Yes, so here this real motion, we always whenever we are perceiving a real motion, we consider it's a background. If there is a background, we can clearly observe the movement of the object. Yes, for example, a car moved from one place to another place. How we can say this? Yes, we always use a background, like from one tree to another tree, or from one house to another house, or from one pillar to another pillar. So all these are works as a background. So we take help of this background and we perceive the figure is moving from one point to another point. Yes, if there is no background, then it's a bit difficult for us to perceive whether that object is moved or not. Yes. Yeah, we also feel the movement of moon and sun along with us. Yes, that's an apparent. Am I clear what I'm trying to talk with you people?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
What I'm trying to explain. Okay, so in perception of movement, there are two types, real movement and apparent movement. Real movement takes place with the help of this figure and background principle. And we always consider this background to explain the real motion. So here, in this real motion, whenever we talk about the object which is actually moving in the environment, we do take help of our muscular movements in our eye. Yes, and retinal movement. So based on that, we can estimate the movement of an object. Then apparent motion. Apparent motion is about the object is, or the stimulus is not moving, but still psychologically we perceive it, the stimulus is moving. So there are different types in apparent motion. Yes. So this the first one is known as stroboscopic movement. Wait a moment. Will you all able to see this slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So real movement, which is actually the object is moving in the environment, and apparent motion is simply psychologically we experience it, but there is no actual movement in the stimulus. Then types of apparent motion. So yeah, here these objects are constant, but we perceive it as they are moving. So in that apparent motion, the first one is stroboscopic motion. Will you able to see this slide?
Ma'am, no, ma'am.
Yes, madam.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So stroboscopic motion, this concept of movement perception, mostly taken into movies. Yes. So that whatever we are seeing, that is not now, but earlier it was not exactly a continuous process. Actually, that was used to take in pictures, and those pictures were constantly present in front of us with with fast repetition. Yes, you might have seen this movie, Amir Khan's movie, Tare Zameen Par. Yes, in that boys, he just draws one picture like this with a family. So he just, when he flipped those pages, it's like it shows as if that boy was moving away from the family. Yes, individual pictures, if you present those individual pictures with fast presentation, then it takes a place or takes an concept of movement. There is no actual movement. See here, you can see these individual pictures. If you flip, for example, all these individual pictures are placing in a pages, and if you flip those pages with rapid speed, then you can see an motion in that. Yes, movement in that. So it's like a dancing motion. Yes. For example, in geographical channel, most of the times they'll give some, they'll show some videos like how a seed turns into a tree. So very with a fast pace, they'll show how seed converts into a plant and a tree, and how it grows its leaves and branches and turns into tree. So that actually an individual picture, and they are showing with those individual pictures are presented in front of us with a rapid speed, so we can see a continuous motion or continuous movement. Yes, so that creates an illusion. Are you able to follow?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So that is known as stroboscopic motion. And then five phenomena. So this five phenomenon is mostly we observe this concept in decorative lights, mostly this Diwali time and all. We can see this neon lights will be used for decoration. So we can see a movement. Yes, we can see a movement in those lights. Say like they'll make a pattern however they want.
Like up and down and right and
yes, yes. Whatever the pattern they want, they can show. Actually, there they are using the concept of five phenomena. Yes, it's not like all the bulbs are working together. It's like the concept is one after the other with a speed, rapid speed. Yes, so one bulb, once it's blown, then another one. So with that rapid, due to that speed, we able to see a pattern in those lights. That is phi phenomenon. Yes. Another concept is when you are, if you're able to see your ceiling fan, we all know there are only 3 wings. Yes. But when we start the fan with that movement, yes, we able to see it as one. All the 3 with that rapid speed, we could see there is only one wing with a fast paced mode, it is moving. Yes. So anything, individual stimulus, when they are presented with a rapid speed, they looks as one or a continuous pattern or something. So that is known as phi phenomenon. Then there is one more concept, that is autokinetic effect. Autokinetic effect means what I said, when we have to see a real image, real stimulus which is moving, we always use of a background. So when there is no background, yes, for example, you people, for example, I want to conduct an experiment on you people. Like I'll call you all into a dark room, pitch dark room. Yes. And I'll project a very small light. You just imagine, I can't present any slide over here. All of you try to imagine that you are in a completely pitch dark room. Yes. Then I projected a dot, a small light, in one corner of the room or at one place. Then you people are observing it. Later, if I ask whether that object is moved or not, what your answer will be? Okay, that light is in, I projected. What could be your answer for that? You just imagine you are in a completely dark room. There is no such evidence to tell that the object is moved from one point to another point. Question unclear. Obviously, because the concept, it is here, the concept which I am talking about is ambiguous, unclear. Yes, you are in a pitch dark room, you can't see anything, and I have projected a very minute light. Yes, I projected for a few seconds. Later, I asked you whether that light has moved from one place to another, one point to another.
If it is focused only in one direction, there is no movement, no, ma'am.
Okay. So when it is constantly presented, you just say, you can say that it is at one place. Okay. If I am blinking that on and off,
So moving.
It shows that it's moving.
Exactly. Yes. So when, if we have a very clear background, for example, small strips of like white, green, yellow or something. Yes. Instead of a dark room, you have a bright colored room. Then I am projecting the light. Then you can identify, okay, from white strip to yellow strip or something, it is moved from one corner of one color to another color. So easily you can say that yes, the light is a constant or moving or whatever. Yes.
Yes.
But here in this situation, the environment, the background is completely ambiguous, completely dark. So we can't identify whether that light has moved or not. Okay. So this is this unable to explain about the movement of the light without the help of a background is known as, the concept is known as autokinetic effect. Okay, in social psychology, in social influence, actually based on this concept, what's his name? Muzaffar Sharif, he conducted an experiment. So you might have studied this, done with social influence, conformity concept in social psychology. No. Concept of conformity in social psychology.
Not yet, ma'am.
Sorry?
Not yet covered, I think.
Okay. So Muzaffar Sharif is a person who has taken this concept to explain what exactly, how the influence takes place. Yes, imagine yourself, all 10 members are there, 10 members whom you know very well. All of you are sitting together. If one person is there, the person will be completely in a confusional state whether that light has moved or not. But if 10 members are sitting around and all the 8 to 9 members clearly says that yes, the light has moved from one place to another, then you will also follow them. Yes, when you are in a confusional state whether that light has moved or not. Just a minute. Sorry for the disturbance. I'm in my college. The students are disturbing me. Give me just few minutes. Okay, so yes, this is about, is this concept clear for you people?
This is not.
It's an ambiguous situation. We don't know what's happening over there. Give me one more minute again. Sorry.
Madam, not audible.
Now? Now is it clear?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
madam.
Yeah,
Go
madam.
ahead.
So, as we all see, moon is very famous example for this induced movement. It's like most of the times we see moon is moving. Yes, it's a constant object. Moon is a constant object. We observe or we perceive it as moon is moving from one point to another point. Why we perceive it like that? Why? What is the reason?
We try to move and see if the object is moving. Something like that.
Sorry?
We try to move from one place and see whether the object also is moving along with that. Just a perception.
Still I didn't get.
Ma'am, it's because of illusion.
Yeah. So here, due to the movement of clouds, yes, actually the clouds are moving. So because of the movement of clouds, we perceive moon as moving. So that is known as induced movement. So one object is making others as moving. Yes, there is no real movement, but because of the, what we can say, objects or stimulus around it is moving, yes, we feel or we perceive as that particular object which is constant also moving along with. Right now I'm not able to give another examples.
Madam, I have another example for this.
Uh,
When I sit in a bus in the bus stand, my near bus is moving. Actually, when I sit in my bus is in constant is there. At that moment, I feel that my bus is moving. Just a second. Sometimes we feel that our bus is moving, but really moving others.
Beside
bus
one.
is moving.
Beside bus.
Even
yes.
the solar system also, ma'am.
Yeah, same. Yes. So all this comes under induced movements. Then, stationary patterns. See what I said right now. I projected a small light, or you try to observe something which is constant one, a small dot in a very bigger background. If you state on that or focus on a very minute dot, you can feel that the dot is moving.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes. So that is not because of the stationary object, it's because of the movement of our eyeball. Yes, our eyeballs are not constant in nature. Physiologically, they have designed in such a way that they will move on. Continuously, they'll move. So because of that, we perceive the object which is constant in nature, we perceive it as it is moving. So that is known as movement in stationary patterns. Then all these, whatever we discussed, are actually comes under perception of movement. Yes, how we perceive the things which are moving. Then the same perception of movement may leads or may creates an illusion in our perception. Yes. Then in another concept in perceptual distortions or illusions is illusions due to a constant object. So there are various types in that. Those are Muller-Lyer illusion. Muller-Lyer illusion last week we did with constant lines. Yes, just because of those arrows, it looks different. Then Ponzo illusion and vertical and horizontal line illusion, that is Ponzo. So there are various types of illusions which are given in your manual. Please refer those. And I'm not going in detail of constant illusions because it's very simple. Only this movement of illusion bit difficult to understand. That's the reason I explained. This constant stimulus illusions due to constant stimulus is very simple. Please refer. And this is most of the times a definite question for the examination. Then hallucination. What is hallucination? Definition for illusion is misinterpretation of the stimulus. What is hallucination?
Just the imagination, ma'am. There's no object, but you imagine there's something there.
It's a perception without stimulus.
Perception?
Without stimulus.
Ma'am, imagining the things which are not actually there.
Yes, but how we can define it?
We perceive some things like auditory or visual without any stimulation.
Okay. So, Edson? Okay, how many types of hallucinations can be?
Auditory hallucination, visual hallucination, and tactile hallucination.
Only 3?
Yeah.
So hallucination is a false perception.
False perception.
Yes. False perception. We are perceiving something which is not existent. Yes, there is no existence, but still we perceive. Yes, so we perceive through our sense organs. Yes or no? The base for perception is sense organs. So whatever the information received by our sense organs, that information only perceived, analyzed, interpreted. So hallucinations also depends on the sensations. So we have 5 sensations. So 5 types of hallucinations may take place. Yes. People do experience certain smells which are not existing. People see some figures, some people or some objects or something which are not existed. They can hear something which is not existed. They can experience some pain or something which is not actually there. So all these, there are 5 types of hallucinations, depends on our sensations. Yes, auditory, tactile, and what it is, olfactory, all this. Sarita Garu, why you raised your hand?
Mom, like this mirage, we call it
an illusion.
And that is illusion.
Illusion, not an hallucination. It's an illusion. Yes, because there is something will be there, some stimulus is there, maybe that sand or something, I don't know how actually that creates, but some stimulus is giving an, what we can say, giving that image that water is there. Yes. So that is purely illusion, not an hallucination. So I hope from my end, I'm done with perception concept, unit of perception.
Excuse me, madam, can I just put a question?
Yes, sir.
See, what is happening that your cerebral cortex receives the stimuli of perception from different events, persons, everything. Then this stimuli and the transmitters, they are organized in a vertical or horizontal way in your brain. Now, where is the mistake occurs in the brain where you feel a falsity of perception or the reality is not there in hallucination? Can you explain that?
Sorry? Okay, you are talking this from the point of physiological structure.
Yes, yes. Cerebral cortex after the
I'm
organization
talking
of the
about psychological
stimuli.
aspect. Exactly.
Yes.
So
So
physiological
where is the
structure, when you talk about, it's only takes the information, however we are seeing or hearing, whatever the information, sense organs, however they are taking, based on that our perception will perceive the things.
yes, madam. What
So,
I think that what I gather, the reality is being seen by our receptors. Reality being the stimuli. Once the stimuli is taken by your receptors, they give it to cerebral cortex. After that, they're arranged vertically or horizontally, different way arranged in your brain.
Yes.
Now, where is the mistake occurs when you think the reality is not there in the hallucination?
Sir,
reality is transformed.
First thing here, perception never ever takes place based on reality. Yes, we just look at, for example, here what happens, which one we will take, induced motion. Yes, induced movement. So what we are seeing, the clouds are there, moon is there. What we are observing, moon is moving. What our only vision can see, there is a movement in the stimulus. Yes, that information only going to our brain. Yes, whatever the cerebral cortex, the location, whatever you are saying, the same information is sending to the regions of brain. There, the information is interpreted. So, however we are seeing that as it is moving, our brain interprets, yes, it is moving. But in reality, what is happening over there? Yes, moon is very much constant. But our eyes won't detect that constancy in the moon, only clouds are moving. No, it won't detect. It only takes the information as it is moving. So our brain also interprets in the same way. So here, that's the reason I'm saying it's not related to our brain. It's related to the object, how it is presented in front of us.
Okay.
Yes,
that
sir?
means the stimuli, object and the stimuli, they work somewhere to get our senses organized there.
Exactly.
What I want to say, like for example, one arrow, if you reverse the ends of the arrow, I think the theory is there in that thing you just talked of. When the reverse the ends of arrow, you think it is longer than the normal arrow. Because your eyeballs move more distance. So you feel it is longer.
Yes.
Object is same, length is same.
Yes.
That's why you get the stimuli as if the arrow is longer than the normal.
Yes.
Whereas the distance, the length is same.
Yes. That's the reason I'm saying our perceptions are not actually the realities. We perceive how we analyze it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Got it.
It's again depends on our experience, our background, or so many factors influences for this. Even after you know both the lengths are equal, your brain doesn't accept it. Your brain interprets as one line is longer than the other. That is your brain's interpretation. That is the mechanistic way of looking at the things. Yes. Okay, so totally we are not going based on how we interpret. Sometimes that's the reason we discussed about constancies. Though our brain says its length is more, but we have an idea, yes, though it is looking like this, but both the lengths are equal.
Thank you.
Madam, can examples for 5 hallucinations, is it possible?
That's why I gave no, sir. Like people experience some smells, odors without presence of it. People experiences a figure, human figure or something. Or people, most of the people complain that I could hear some words, I could hear a person is talking with me, why you are not? Yes, that's an hallucination, auditory. And few people experience some taste, a bittery taste or something. Actually, there is no, in reality, there is no such kind of taste exists. Okay, all these hallucinations takes place due to the chemical changes in the brain. Illusions takes place because of the presentation of the stimulus. Got it? The difference between these two.
Thank you, madam.
Then the next unit is about motivation. We already done with what exactly motivation is, process of motivation, intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, then physiological motivation, biological motivation. I think we done with the theories also. Maslow's need hierarchy we discussed. As I remember, we discussed about Maslow's need hierarchy.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anybody able to explain what is there in that hierarchy?
Madam, hierarchy theory, there is a basic needs, needs, basic needs.
Yes.
Security, self-esteem, and actual, finally.
How many of you are here present?
Ma'am,
Here,
first one
but
is
not attended the offline class.
Ma'am, it's the psychological needs comes first.
No, physiological needs comes first. Then
Basic needs is first, madam. Physiological
needs followed by safety needs, and then love and belonging, esteem and self-actualization.
Yes.
Maslow carried out the extensive thought from humanistic point of view. The first is basic need, food, hunger. These are the basic needs of humanity. After that, he went to security. Like a beggar begs, then he makes a house, getting a lot of money. So house is security for him, or job security, financial security. After that, it comes the love and affection. Like he makes a partner, he loves somebody, gets married. Then comes self-esteem. The love and affection also is there. After that comes self-esteem. After that is self-actualization. Self-actualization is the topmost thing. But anywhere in the hierarchy, they call it a pyramid of hierarchy also. Whenever there is in the later stage, whenever the basic need is lacking, even if it is the stage of self-actualization, the basic need is the first thing. It comes down on the ladder. Therefore, this Maslow's need for hierarchy is a very important thing in the psychology.
Yes, yes. It's a very basic theory.
It's a human theory of motivation.
Yes. So, in this hierarchical model, first we start with basic needs, physiological needs, food, water, oxygen. Yes. So, basic physiological needs which are required for the survival comes under low level. Okay. So, after that, safety. Once the person is comfort with his physiological needs, he look after the safety needs. Then, affiliation needs like love and affection from the family, from the partner, from the society. Once the person is fulfilled with these needs, then he look after the power needs. So power needs are nothing but wants to have a position, a control, yes, command over the society, family, or wherever it is. He wants to control something. So after power needs, once the person fulfill all these four needs, he reaches to self-actualization. So self-actualization is the higher end of human needs. So once the person reaches over there, he'll be completely satisfied. Yes. So it doesn't mean the person's life will stops over there. He'll take a sannyas, become a sannyasi or something. No. What happens again? It's a circle. He comes back. Yes. And again, he strives for one more, another need. See, for example, I could able to take class. My goal in my life is to take a session or class continuously for 1.5 hours. Okay, that was my earlier goal. So once I reached my 1.5 hour session, I was fully satisfied. Yes, I could able to take a session continuously for 1.5 hours. Then I'm not satisfied over there. Later, what I started thinking like, okay, 1.5 hours I'm able to take. Let me try for 2 hours. Yes. So here what happens, once you, whatever you want to achieve, whatever the desire you have, you want to achieve in your career or in your personal life or whatever, once you reach, the person is fully satisfied, that remains for some time. Yes. After that, again, he comes back, the drive will reduce and he tries to re-attain something other goal, wants to achieve something else. So after 1.5 hours, I've started planning for 3 hours. So right now I'm taking continuously 6 hours without a break. So here self-actualization is not a ending point for the satisfaction level or something, but it's an it gives a complete pleasure or satisfaction in life for some time. Later again, the person will try to re-achieve something else. So here drawbacks of Maslow's theory is, he only said every individual will follow this hierarchy. Yes. And every individual, once he fully satisfied with basic level needs, then only he looks for the upper level. Yes. But in reality, it doesn't take place. The person may not be fulfilled with his affiliation needs or power needs or something, but still the person strives for self-actualization needs. Yes, there we are seeing many live examples are there. People who are struggling for struggling actors are there, struggling what we can say, artists are there. Yes, they are deprived in their basic level needs, but still looking for something in their life, something in their career. Yes, so this is about need hierarchy. And in the motivation theories, the first theory, the basic theory actually is about instinct theory, McDougall's instinct theory. So instinct, what exactly the concept of instinct? What is
inner concerns, ma'am?
Yes. Any other? Sixth sense, no.
We actually follow our instincts is what we usually say.
Innate qualities of individual.
Innate quality, for example?
If it's coming from a natural.
Yes. So we can say that instinct is an unlearned pattern of behavior. Yes. The person is not learned. It is there by birth. Yes. Natural quality, natural natural quality of an individual, which exhibits through his behavior. Yes. So, for example, in the environment, not only human beings, but each and every living organism will have this instinct. In the animals or in birds, if we take migration from one place to another. Yes, birds usually migrate from southern place to north, or depends on the environmental things or drivers.
Building a nest before laying eggs.
Exactly. That's an instinct. Okay. Migration or building nest before bird lays eggs. So all these are the instinct factors which we observe in animals. If we apply the concept to human beings, when we can observe these instincts, basically these instincts are reflexive actions and unlearned patterns of behaviors. So these are not very much constant. Yes. So these instincts are modifiable and adaptable. So however the things are there, however the environmental conditions are changing, however the requirements are improved for the adaptation. Like I think in the class we discussed about pandemic. During pandemic time, we all adapted new behaviors of hygiene and taking care of the health and other aspects. Yes. So here, the instinct of maintaining hygiene has modified. Yes. Yeah, it is like an internal force. We can say that. Yes. So here, whatever the reflexive action we are talking about, whatever innate factor we are talking about, it is not very much constant. It is modifiable. It is adaptable. So McDougall, when he explained about his this concept of instinct, he came up with various instincts, and later he identified 18 basic instincts in human beings. That list is there in your textbook. Please refer. Then there were so many critics on the theory of instinct, like how you can prove it, it's an innate quality, how you can label it, or how scientifically we can analyze that this is the person's instinct. Yes, so certain factors were not explained clearly through the, because not any one theory is perfectly complete or perfectly explains about. Yes, so to some extent it gives an idea, but perfectly it may not explain about the concept. Here, the same thing happened with McDougall's instinct theory also. He couldn't explain about, scientifically it couldn't prove the instinctual behaviors in a person, because it gets modified, it gets adapted, it gets changes in a person to person, societies to societies. For example, instinct of fear. Yes. So, do I can say that each and every individual in the universe will have a fear towards, for example, snakes? Do I can say that? See, migration in the birds, we can apply to entire bird species. Like they do migrate from one place to another. It's their instinct quality, instinct behavior. But do I can apply the same concept for human beings? Like definitely each and every instinct of fear is common in each and every individual. Yes, but fear towards what is not very much explainable. Yes, I can't say that each and every human being will have a fear towards snake in the universe. Do I can say that every individual will have a fear towards?
No.
Why in a doubtful no?
No, ma'am.
I think no, ma'am.
No. Why? Why we can't say?
Everybody will have some fear with some object or other in their life.
No, particularly with snakes. Why few won't be having any fear towards?
Fear of death, ma'am.
They have learned the skill to tame this snake, madam, how to handle it.
Exactly. So there are certain cultures or there are certain traditional families where they actually rear the snakes. Yes, right from the childhood, they'll brought up along with the snakes. There are many videos on YouTube like children plays with snakes. It's like their pets only. Yes, so they won't develop any fear towards the snakes because right from the childhood they are used to it. But we can't apply that concept to all the cultures. Yes, so cultural differences do exist in the formation of instinct. Yes, so fear is a general concept which each and every individual will have, but we can't impose that fear to we can't say that each and every individual will have the same fear with the same intensity toward same intensity towards a stimulus, one particular stimulus or object. Okay, so to explain this individual differences or cultural differences, the theory could not stand over there, how it is changed or how it is modified or adaptable. Yes, so these are the few drawbacks of this theory, but still instinctual theory gives a very important basis for human behavior. Yes, it is an innate drive. It is an innate factor which forces us to behave in a certain way. Okay. So this is about instincts. Give few examples for instincts in human beings. Fear is one instinct, yes. That actually protects us. Because of this fear instinct, we do protect ourselves. We can take quick action when we see a snake or we come across to a dangerous situation or something. We can move away. So in this way, this instinct is helpful for us. Yes.
Creativity can be one.
Reflex actions are instincts only, no ma'am?
Yeah, reflexive actions are instincts. Give an example for this reflexive action.
When we touch any hot object, immediately we'll draw back.
Yes, yes. And sucking behavior in children. Yes, that is also an instinct. That's a very good example of instinct. To some extent, we can say that the child may learn, or a person might have learned that to take away his hand when he touch a hot thing or very chilled one. But for the newborn babies, immediately after birth, we can see this reflexive action. It's a completely, whenever we talks about instinct, it's an unlearned pattern of behavior. We never ever learned about it. It's right. It's from the birth. By birth, the person will have that instinct. So this sucking behavior or reflexive action, turning towards, if we rub the child's cheeks or something, definitely immediately the child turns towards. Okay, that's a reflexive action. So these are the reflexive actions we can see in human beings, which gives the idea of instincts. Then Freud, actually, he came up with two instincts. Anybody knows about? He came up with the concept of instincts. According to him, there are two types of instincts in human beings. McDougall actually identified 18 standard instincts in human beings.
But in the manual, only 12 are given, ma'am.
In your manual, it's given 12. It's in another standardized books, it's 18. It's given 18. So you can write 12 or 18.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, according to Freud, it's only 2. Any idea what are those? Instinct of not investing our money somewhere. It's unconscious.
Instinct for life and instinct for death.
Exactly. So those are known as Eros and Thanatos.
Yes.
Eros is a life instinct and Thanatos is a death instinct. So, yes. So Eros is nothing but the person who drives with Eros or life instinct. He enjoys the life. He actually will have some desires. The person look into like achieving the goals. Yes, positive side of human development. Person who ever drives with Eros or life instinct moves towards the survival, moves towards the life, leading the life. Then the person who drives with Thanatos or death instinct. Thanatos is a resemblance of a negative character. Yes. So it's about more into aggression. The person's behavior is self-destructive. The person try to kill the people, whoever has this suicidal tendencies, wants to end their life or have no motivation, no desire in their life. So they are driven by this Thanatos, death instinct. Yes, so they won't have any pleasure in their life. They won't have any motivation or something. So according to the Freud, these are the two types of instincts that usually people drive with.
Ma'am, sorry, is this emotion going on or motivation we completed?
Motivation only. That's
okay,
fine.
okay.
It's a motivation only. Yes, Freud's psychoanalytic theory of motivation. So Here, in Freud's theory, he actually gave about one concept that is cathected. Cathect or catharsis, according to him, is a releasing of emotions. Yes. So whenever we able to fulfill our desires, whenever we able to reach our goals, the person will be energized, free from. Yes. So he is not closed with the energy, but the energy will be released. So whenever we achieve something, that energy will be released within the person. So according to the Freud, it's an releasing of that energy is known as cathected. Yes. So however the person is releasing his energy, he'll be free from, yes, free from some boundaries, free from restrictions. So he'll free, the person will experience a relaxed state of mind. Yes. So we can say the person is driven by eros, life instinct. He is actually enjoying his life with all the energy. All the energy is coming out within the person. Then thanatos, where the person is not able to fulfill his desires, where the person is restricted with. Yes, go on, person fails in the examination. Go on, the person fails in the interviews, unable to get unemployability. Yes, or unable to get the resources. Yes, unable to find the love and pleasure in the life. Then his energy is nowhere releasing. It is very much restricted. Its energy is stuck or packed within the boundaries of individual. So he couldn't experience that joy. He couldn't experience that pleasantness, releasing of energy, releasing of emotions. Okay. So there is no homeostasis, means balance in his physical as well as psychological concept. So when the person is suppressed or packed with his energies inside him, then that leads to thanatos. Yes, negative emotions, suppressions or sadness. So this leads to suicidal tendencies or aggression. Yes, frustrations. So the person is not motivated enough to lead his life. That's the ultimate concept of Freud's theory. So mostly he focused more, his entire theory actually focuses on the past. He only look at the things what happened with him, childhood experiences and other past experiences. So based on that, he decides the present. So Freud's, any of his theory, he did not mention about the future. He mostly stuck with past. So that's the reason I'm saying not any theory is fully explained, fully complete. Yes. So each and every theory will have its own identity and its own concepts. So definitely past plays an important role in our present as well as future life, but not always. Okay, this is about motivation. Measurement of motivation, if you take, we have various questionnaires. Yes, then self-interpretation is there, and a few questionnaires are there, standardized questionnaires are there. I'm not going in detail. So self-analysis is like the people themselves can analyze like how they are. Good morning, madam. Sorry to disturb. My mic is not working. Kindly let me know the name. Psychologist who gave the list of instincts. It's a McDougall. Okay, Maslow's need hierarchy, McDougall's instinct theory, and Freud's psychoanalytic. These are the three theories you have in your motivation. Okay.
Ma'am, excuse me, sorry to disturb. Like in case we come across a person like, as you said, who is thanatos. Okay. How to handle that situation?
How?
How to handle that situation?
How to handle?
Yeah.
see here, handle, there is no such tips. Yes?
Okay.
We should know about the person completely. What are the situations the person is in? Yes. So when you fully aware of these two, then you can come up like what you can do, how you can help that person. Yes. Specifically, there is no such kind of tips like for study or some other things, focus on attention. No, we don't have. So you should know about that person, what kind of person he is, what's his personality, and what's his family background, and what are the situations made him like that. If you know about, then based on that, you can analyze and you can deal with the person. That's the reason for counseling, it takes so many sessions for us.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a continuous process. It's not like in single session, we just can't come to a conclusion.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, the next chapter is about Unit 13, emotions. So emotions is a, it's like the meaning is energized. Yes, whenever we are expressing an emotion, maybe it's a pleasant one or unpleasant one, whatever it is, we are releasing some energy. According to Freud, what he said for the motivation, the concept, releasing of energy, the same concept we can apply for emotions also. So we are releasing the emotions. We are releasing the energies. So here, this actually derived from a Latin word, immover, so which means stir up, to get agitated, or what we can say, it is an releasing of energy. So here, this releasing of energy takes place through our physiological aspect as well as psychological aspect. Yes. So we do express our emotions while changing our facial expressions or bodily movement. So physiological aspect do take a part in expressing the emotions. So whenever we talk about emotions, we do have to talk about three things. One is what cognitive component plays a role, physiological component, and psychological component. Yes, behavioral, cognitive, physiological, and behavioral. Yes. So cognitive component, whenever we talk about cognitive component, it's about your perceptions, your thinking. Yes. And your analysis, reasoning, all these things.
Imagination skills, ma'am.
For example, sorry?
Is it imagination skills of a person?
Not exactly imaginary, but that also a part of.
Okay. Thank you.
Also a part of. Okay, how you are interpreting the situation, that leads to your emotions. Yes. For example, you are calling to your friend, yes, and your friend is not taking a call. Continuously, you are trying to talk with your friend. Yes, you are in a, it's okay. In what condition you are, again, it's a different part. But you just want to communicate with your friend. You want to just talk with your friend. And you are go on calling, and you are go on giving a ring. Your friend is not taking or not receiving your call. So there are two situations arise, like how you interpret. First thing, if you interpret that situation, the entire situation, as maybe your friend is busy with some other work, yes, or the phone is not with your friend, that's the reason your friend is not able to take your call. If you interpret in this manner, you won't get much effect with your emotions. Yes, you will think that, okay, now he or she is not picking the call. Let me wait for some time. Later, I'll call. Yes. Instead of this, if you interpret the situation in another way, in opposite manner, like intentionally your friend doesn't want to talk with you. wantedly your friend is not taking a call. Your friend is, what we can say, avoiding you, ignoring you. So if you analyze this situation in this manner, what it leads to? It leads to a sadness. Yes. Prolonged sadness may leads to frustration. This may leads to stress. Yes. Yes or no? This is a very small incident, but it's totally, your emotions are totally dependent on how actually you are interpreting the situation or analyzing the person, object, situation, whatever it is. Why specifically 3850 reasons? Okay. So we can say that cognition, our thought process, our perceptions, our reasonings, our analysis, our way of understanding definitely influences our emotions, intensity of emotions, expression of emotions. Yes, consistency of our emotions, all are dependent on our thought process. So that's the cognitive component. Then physiological component. Physiological component also, like how you are. See here what happens. You do express your emotions. How we can understand other person, the opposite person is in a bad mood or in a happy mood, by seeing his facial expressions. Yes, by seeing his bodily movements, we can understand in what emotion the person is. Yes or no? So our behavioral patterns, our bodily movements do give a clue to understand the intensity of emotions and what type of emotions the person is undergoing with. So we can measure this physiological component, like what kind of emotion the person is. So here we have different measurements. See, in our brain, there are different locations actually responsible for our emotions, like limbic system, and it's like central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, these two, adrenal gland. So these regions which are located in our brain are actually responsible for our emotions and expression of emotions. Yes. And there are few people actually who actually feels the emotions but unable to express it. And there are people who just never ever feel anything. There is no emotions at all. They just can't understand others' position, other situations. Yes. So that is known as apathy. If the person able to understand other situation, able to adjust along with others, then that is known as
sympathy.
Empathy. Empathy, not sympathy.
Yeah,
empathy.
Yeah.
Yes. Empathy. So empathy opposite is apathy. Have no apathy, sympathy, empathy. Yes. In sympathy, you are just showing the concern. You are not doing anything else. But in empathy, you are actually understanding what the person is going through and you are ready to help the individual.
Yeah.
That's the difference between sympathy and empathy. So that's the reason in psychology, empathy has given more importance, because we all are involved into, should involve into counseling. So here empathy plays a major role. If you don't understand others' position or situation, then you can't help them. You actually should feel how the other person is feeling. Yes. So if a person comes with the problem of my friend is not talking with me, so that's giving a lot of stress. So for me, if I feel that, okay, what happened? If your friend is not talking, so what? You can move on. here, if I make this statement, means I'm not able to experience or understand his pain, what the person is going through. You are not able to empathize with that person. So we can expect there is no help will be provided to that individual.
Excuse me, ma'am, can we consider emotions are also a type of reflex action?
Yes, yes. Because consciously, sometimes we won't show any emotion. Yes, always it's not conscious, conscious way of expressing emotions. Abruptly, we do express certain emotions. So it's an, yes, instinct, reflexive action. Okay. Yeah. So galvanic skin response and polygraph, these are the measurements through which we can identify one's emotions. Only with the help of physiological changes, we can understand the intensity of the emotions in an individual. Then behavioral component is about finally expressing. Yes, if the person is, if two individuals are happy, one person will jump, yes, and shouts and be mad with the happiness. Other person will simply smile and be happy, very calm. So two individuals' way of expressing the same emotion may differ. So ultimately, how the person is expressing that emotion, we can observe through their behaviors. So based on that, we can identify the intensity and what type of emotion the person is going through. So cognitive, physiological, and behavioral, these are the three components which are associated with emotion. Then we do talk about, whenever we use emotions, other terms also synonymously we use. It's like temperament and mood, yes, feelings. So will you able to differentiate what exactly a feeling is, what is emotion, what is mood? What is feeling and what is emotion? Okay, emotion you are clear with. What is feeling? And did we discuss this before?
Feeling is a lighter side of our reaction to a stimulus.
Feeling is
a lighter side. It is not.
Okay. Then what is mood?
And our feeling may lead to mood.
Close. Sir? Mood is?
And if mood is intensifies, it may lead to emotion. It is a hierarchy-like type.
Okay. Yeah. Here,
feeling we don't physically express much, but emotions can be seen. Like, for example, if you are sad, you are feeling that you are sad. But how are you expressing it is by crying and so on. So that way we can.
Yes, yes. So feeling is very temporary and low in intensity. Yes.
Mood is state of mind, ma'am.
Exactly. Mood is state of mind. So the three concepts: mood, feeling, emotion, and mood. First, we discuss about feeling. Feeling is temporary and it's in low in intensity. So most of the times what I felt, most people, they don't even recognize their feelings. Yes, they don't even recognize what they felt about a person or object or what situation or whatever it is. So feelings are not very much recognizable. They are very, what we can say, temporary. It's only for some time. So if this feeling towards a person or object, anything, is consistently occurring, yes. First, when you meet a person, whoever, just XYZ, one person. So in the first meeting, you will have a feeling towards that person. That feeling is not intensified. It is very general idea. A feeling is a general idea about that person. However, you go on interact with this person, the particular person, so your feelings will continuously takes place. So however that feeling, a particular feeling towards an individual go on occurring, that leads to an emotion. Yes. So whatever we are talking about, pleasant or unpleasant or positive or negative emotions, it's a very intensified and long term. Yes. So these are very much recognizable and person is fully aware of it. Emotion is fully aware of it. Yes. So combination of feelings may form one particular emotion. Okay. So maybe the person says, I'm happy. So this happiness may be a combination of pride, combination of what else?
Achieving
Positive is very
something.
difficult. Achievement, yes. Feeling of achievement, feeling of satisfaction.
Feeling of success.
So when the person achieves all this combination of feelings, that may leads to a emotion called happiness or satisfaction. Yes. So feeling is temporary, emotion is long term. Then mood. Mood is an state of mind. Yes, what you said. It's an after effect of expressing of our emotions or feelings. Once you express your emotions, what kind of mental state you are. People will feel relaxed. If a person has a very aggressive person and he wants to exhibit that aggression towards his boss or someone, once he ventilate, he'll be very relaxed. After effects, what happens later he should think about, but once he ventilate his emotions, the person will be relaxed. That is his mood. Yes. So ventilation, after the ventilation of emotions, whatever it is, positive or negative, the state of mind is known as mood. That also temporary. Okay, this is about, and in this unit you have about nature and characteristics of emotions, basic emotions. All this you can, if you give one reading, that's more than enough. So I would like to focus on theories of emotions. So tomorrow we will discuss about theories of emotions. In this unit, please give a reading on characteristics and types of emotions. What are the positive, negative types, primary and secondary emotions? Please give a reading. If you have any doubts, we will discuss only on that. Otherwise, I'm not going to explain about it because we have very few classes.
Functions of emotions, is it important, ma'am?
Yes, obviously. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So tomorrow we will discuss on theories of emotions.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Next you have, which class you have?
Thank you so much, ma'am. Have a nice day.
Social psychology, ma'am, now.
Social psychology. By? Who is taking social psychology?
Dr. Mahinder sir.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, ma'am.
Hope everyone will attend tomorrow also.
Definitely, ma'am.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Rajesh.